Okay. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. And first of all, welcome back. So we're going to go ahead and start our new unit, Unit 4. And the first lesson is going to be on representing relationships. And that's what our guided note sheet is going to be on. So if we look at example 1, it says money. All right, and Malik earns $8.50 per hour washing cars. Write an equation to find how much money, M, which is our variable, Malik earns for any number of hours, H. So if we look back at the problem, it says let M represent the money, okay, and H represents the hours. So based on that, our equation is M equals $8.50 times our number of hours. So that's the equation that we're going to use. So if we look at the next part, it says how much will Malik earn if he works 4 hours? So we're going to substitute in the number 4 for H. So our equation is M is equal to $8.50 times H. And then we said we're going to substitute in 4 for our H value. So $8.50 times 4 is going to be $34. And that is our final answer. Okay, so let's keep going. The next part says make a table to find his earnings if he works 7, 8, 9, or 10 hours. And then you want to graph the order pairs that we have. Okay, so for hours, we're going to say 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then for earnings, we're going to use our equation that we had above. So if we do 850 times 7, that means that we will have 59.5. If we did 8 times 850, we're going to have 68. If we have 850 times 9, our value is 76.5. And then lastly, $8.50 times 10 is going to be 85. So the next thing that we need to do is go ahead and graph our ordered pairs. In order to graph our ordered pairs, we have to make a scale on our graph. So for my x-axis, I'm going to start with 0 at the origin. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 10 is going to be over here a little bit. And then on my y-axis, my scale is going to be, I'm going to go in increments of 10. So we're going to have 10, 20, 30, 40. Let me go ahead and erase that because that's a little unclear. So 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80. Alright, so my first one that I need to plot is, is 7 and 59.5. So I'm going to go over to 7 and go up to where 59.5 would be. Alright, so 7, 59.5 will be about right there. Okay. The next one is 8 and then 68. So I'm going to go over to 8. And then 68 will be about here. Actually, it should be on the line. Right about there. And then 9 should be 76.5. So that one's going to be right about here. And then 10 is 85, so it's going to be about right here. So those are the 4 points that I should have plotted. Okay, let's go ahead and look at example number 2. Example 2 says a car dealer sells 12 cars per week. So if we look at part A, it says write an equation to find the number of new cars C sold in any number of weeks W. Okay, so we want to know how many cars, so that's going to be our first variable, C, are sold in any number of weeks. So it's going to be equal to 12W, because it says that we sell 12 cars per week. Okay? So part B says make a table to find the number of new cars sold in 4, 5, 6, or 7 weeks. And then after we figure that out, we need to graph our ordered pairs. So in our table, we need to figure out how many cars are sold for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and 7 weeks. Okay? And then we're going to substitute that number into our equation. So if we have 4 weeks, we're going to substitute that in for W. So 12 times 4, in this case, will be 48 cars. All right? 5 would be 12 times 5, which would be 60. The next one will be 12 times 6, which would be 72. And then the last one will be 7 times 12, which is 84. Okay? The next thing that I need to do is to go ahead and label my axis. So for my X, I'm going to label it just like I did before. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. And then on my Y-axis instead, I'm going to go by increments of 12 since it's a little bit easier. So I'm going to start here and then do 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, and then 96. Alright, so that's 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, and 96. Alright, so let's go ahead and plot this. So I'm going to go over to 4, the fourth line, so 1, 2, 3, 4, then go up to where 48 would be, which would be right here. So hold on a second. Let's see if I can move this back to where it should be. Alright, so I'm trying to move that back. Alright, so let's erase my point and plot that again, because that kind of got messed up. So, like I said, I wanted to go over to 4 and up to 48. So my point should fall right there. Alright, the next one is 5. I'm going to do it at 60. So that point should fall right on this line right there. Alright, 6 and 72 should fall on this point right there. And then 7 and 84 should fall on that point right there. Alright, let's keep going and let's go ahead and look at example number 3. Alright, example 3 says an author writes 4 pages per day. Part A says write an equation to find the number of pages P written after any number of days. Alright, so my equation for this one now is going to be P equals 4D. Okay, so the number of pages is equal to 4 times the number of days. So part B says make a table to find the number of pages the author writes in 1, 2, 3, or 4 days, then graph the ordered pairs. So for my x's, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, if I substitute in 1 for my equation, 1 times 4 is 4. If I substitute in 2, 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12, and 4 times 4 is 16. So let's go ahead and label my axes. So once again, I'm going to start at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And for my y-axis, I'm going to do it in increments of 2 this time. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Alright, so the first thing that I need to label is 0.14. Okay, so I'm going to go over to 1 and up at 4, and that's right there. The next one is 2, 8, so I'm going over to 2 and up 8, and that falls right there. Next is 3, 12, so over 3, up 12, and last but not least is 4, 16. Okay, and that point falls right there. Alright guys, so that finishes up examples 1 through 3. Make sure you save this worksheet so we can come in and do a warm-up on this tomorrow morning.